Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Tony's T's Picks College Show with the same usual faces. We got Mindy, we got Bo, we got Chris, we got Tony here. The only thing we're missing is Ron. Ron wasn't able to make it this week, but we'll see him back again next week. So let's get it started. As we know, all you people love getting right to the picks. No banter, no nothing. Right into these picks. So let's get into it. We got going to kick it off with UNLV taking on Utah State. This line says 18 and a half in favor of UNLV. The total's at 66 and a half. What do you think in this one, Mindy?
Oh, geez. I just think whenever I have an ex-Iowa quarterback, things aren't looking so hot for them. I'm going to go ahead and take UNLV here. I like what they've been doing. Plus, I have Utah State sitting at like 130 on defensive efficiency. Their defense is bad. That is not good going up against the UNLV offensive efficiency, sitting at about 35th in the nation. So I will take UNLV. Not even scared in this one.
What do you think here, Bo?
Hey, man, I'm going up, low with the total. I think it's sitting at 65, 66. I don't think it's high enough. I think those defensive numbers for UNLV were a little extreme for the teams they played the first couple of games. They played Kansas, they struggled on offense. Houston, they played Fresno State, dealing with, coaches issues. I got the big score on them with blanking them out. But I think that Utah State will be able to put some points up. They playing in Logan. It's tough to play there, and this team can throw the ball, and that's where I think UNLV struggles on offense, defense. So I think we'll see big points, man. So I like the over 65.5 in this one.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to take a UNLV in this one to cover the spread. And they've covered that in the last 8 road games. And then Utah State has just given up way too many yards per game. They're near 600. And against Mountain West teams, they're giving up 62 points. So I think UNLV just covers this no problem at all.
Yeah. What do you think here, Tony?
Yeah, I like with both. I like the over in this game. I think it's pretty much a step down in class. So Spencer Petras is healthy now. You have to look at Utah State a little differently. This is kind of a step down in class here, going from Iowa down to Utah State. It's like running your horse at Churchill Downs. And what's that track in Iowa, Mindy? Is it Will Rogers?
It's in Des Moines. What is the name of that? Something Hills.
It's like running there. So it's a different type of field over there. It's a step down.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah, you have to look it up. Yeah, I know it's on the TVG. I used to watch it all the time. It just escapes my name right now because this not Delaware. No, that's it escapes my mind right now. But Mindy will find it. But yeah,
Perry Meadows.
Perry Meadows. Yeah, now he's running at Perry Meadows, and I think he can handle that type of horse a little better now at Perry Meadows racetrack there. But the thing is, UNLV can run the football. Utah State's running. We saw UNLV's pass defense last week wasn't the greatest. But yeah, I look here at an over the total as well.
And for me, this time I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the under. I just don't know if Utah State can keep up enough scoring. I think UNLV will have their way with running the football here against this Utah State defense. But for me, it's can this Utah State score enough? They only average like 23.5 points per game, and that's for me. I've got UNLV at 41, and I got Utah State finishing at 17, and at 66.5. I think that's a lot of points. You're going to need Utah State to pitch in some. I know we did see UNLV give up some on pass defense, but I don't trust this Utah State team enough to be able to score enough points to chip in on that total. So I like the under 66.5 here in this one. All right, on to the next one. We got Clemson taking on Wake. This line is at right at 20. The total is at 62. What do you think here in this one, Mindy?
Well, again, this is what I look for, right? These mismatches, offensive, defensive efficiency. I look at more talent. I look at better coaching. Look at Clemson here on the offensive side. 5th in the nation versus Wake Forest at 117. This has Clemson putting up big numbers here all over it. I like it. I'm going to take Clemson. Lay the 3 scores. Let's do it.
What do you think here in this one, Bo?
Yeah, man. I have the way I look at games is if I think that a team like Clemson gonna cover the spread, I look at the over. I know a lot of people correlate it different, but the last 3 times they played, it's 2-1 to the over. Wake Forest can score some points. We seen them do it in their last game, and Clemson just been racking up the points as well. I don't see either one of these teams slowing down. I like the over 62 on this game.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
So I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to take Wake Forest in this, and mainly because I know that's against Clemson. I know Clemson's been racking up stuff, but Wake Forest has kept stuff close in their most of their games this season outside of Ole Miss. But they're 10 in the last 10 against Clemson. They're 7-3 against the spread. So, I know Clemson could run it up, but I don't know. It's just it's a lot of points there, so I'd rather take Wake Forest to try to cover the spread there.
What do you think here, Tony?
Clemson's been very effective in pass defense, and we saw Wake Forest really struggle at home to Ole Miss with their offensive output. And I'm not really a big fan of Hank Bachmeier, even back in his days when he was with Boise State, right? That's when we had that real struggle. Got the coach fired there because just couldn't get the job done, Bachmeier. And Clemson 10-5 the under on the road. I think Clemson's defense will be a little too much here. I like the under in this one.
For me, in this one, I gotta go with Clemson here. In this one, I think their offense will just be too much for Wake. I know that you looked over the recent past history between these two teams, and it has been close between these teams. Clemson's usually winning them, but usually they're with inside the number that Wake keeps them close. But as Tony alluded to, it's that I don't think they're going to be able to throw on this Clemson team. They're definitely not going to be able to run the ball and keep up with the scoring. You look at Clemson and the way they've been running the ball, and with Dabo going as coach, he's 18-4 ATS after out-rushing an opponent by 200 yards. I got to go with Clemson here and lay it. It's 20.5 in some places. Definitely shop your number over that 3-touchdown number. All right, on to the next one. We got a big game in Iowa where they're taking on the Huskies of Washington coming to town. Last I seen it was is it still a 2.5?
What else?
Yeah, 2.5, some threes.
2.5, some threes. Total sitting at 42. What do you think in this one, Mindy?
Well, I mean, this one should be pretty decent, right? I mean, I'm kind of excited for it. I think it should be good. You got Will Rogers, Cade McNamara. I have this one projected pretty close. It's one of those at Vegas. It looks like they're kind of right on this to what I can come up with. But I look at this, Iowa's defense, they're number 8 in defensive efficiency. And then also we have, a Washington team that's 37th in defensive efficiency versus an Iowa sitting at 81, right? So if I kind of take a look at this combined offense, I'm sitting at about 63-ish, right? So I'm looking at different numbers, how I calculate them and tabulate. But defensively, I come up with about 148 net efficiency. 63 on offensive net efficiency. This looks like a huge underplay here for me. Lots of defense, no scoring, just how the Big Ten likes it. Let's go under.
Yep.
What do you think of this one, Bo?
Yeah, just a new alignment, man, with these West Coast teams, how to travel like this. We're seeing Washington already have to go to Rutgers. It's going to be their second time traveling back to the East, man. I think it'll be a tough spot for them. I think it's like 1-8 in this spot for teams like Washington. And Ohio do have a good defense. I think if Washington make it past the 40, it's going to be even tough for them to score. I think about the field goal. We're seeing Rutgers run on Washington in that game. I think it'll be a similar spot, man. I like Iowa to bounce back. And there's no later points. I like them on the money line in this one. I like Iowa Hawkeyes to get the job done.
What do you think of this one, Chris?
Yeah, I'm definitely with Mindy here on the under. Washington has gone under 5 of their last 6 games. Iowa's holding teams to an average of 13.7 points, and on the road, Washington is averaging about 18.5. So yeah, I think it's going to definitely go with the under in this one. That's a good play.
What do you think in this one, Tony?
Yeah, I'm with Bo was talking about these West Coast teams, these travel situations with this conference realignments having an impact. I like Iowa laying the points. Iowa's still playing that pretty good defense here. They are getting a little offensively here. They're going to have to pick it up here against this Washington. But we saw Rutgers get it done here against this Huskies team. But I just think that the travel spot's tough here for this Washington team. The Huskies are a road game. They were held to 18 points there in that spot. Of course, Iowa stopping the run, limiting the passing yardage here per attempt here. So I'll look for Iowa here. As a matter of fact, the only team that's really had success traveling in the Big Ten for any distance was that Indiana team who went into a really bad UCLA team and got the win. But everyone else had trouble in travel spots. We're going to see some more travel spots this week with Penn State and Iowa State. We're going to get those a little later, but here I like Iowa.
Yeah, for me, this one, I got to lead to Iowa as well. Tough travel spot, and Washington won't have that ref in the pocket like they did their last game against Michigan, where they definitely got some nice favorable calls being at home in that one. That's a tackle. It's still called pass interference. Is what happened in that one. But I like the under here in this one. You look at as many have alluded to. You look Washington's defense holding teams to 13.2 per game. Iowa 18 points a game. That's about 31 points. And also Washington off of a home win. They're 9-1 to the under following a home win. So first of 20 wins this game. Give me the under 42 in this one. All right, on to the next one. We got Wisconsin taking on Rutgers. Big battle in this one. Opens its looks like it's 2.5. The total's at 42.5. What do you think in this one, Mindy?
Man, I feel like it's just like Washington and Iowa. I think the line here is razor thin for you to find an edge. It's a tough one. It's Rutgers again is going to have to go out and run. Calic Manis, he's pretty terrible. But if you look at this Wisconsin defense, they've been playing pretty good. So it's going to be whether or not they can go ahead and stop the run. I think it might be, though, a little bit too difficult of a spot for Wisconsin. Rutgers has been exceptional here at home. I just think right now it's going to be a taste of their own medicine. I think it's going to be a lot of Rutgers here running the ball versus Wisconsin. I'm going to take Rutgers only because they're the home team. I think if this was flipped, I'd be sitting the other way. But I'm going to take Rutgers here at home.
What do you think here in this one, Bo?
Yeah, I agree, man. I like the way Rutgers look when they play in Washington, man. This team can run. If they get up on you, man, it's pretty tough to come back on them. That crowd is really Rutgers up there. I just don't like the way Wisconsin. I don't like the way they play football, man. This quarterback for them used to play for SMU. I don't like him when he was there. I don't like him right now. So give me Rutgers, man, to get the win. No points. Just take them on the money line. I like Rutgers in this spot.
What do you think of this one, Chris?
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take Wisconsin and do that. I mean, they're up against Big Ten, and against Big Ten teams, Wisconsin's averaging 447 yards, and Rutgers is only averaging 19 points against Big Ten teams. So I'm gonna take a shot with Wisconsin. I know Rutgers is hot, but I'm just gonna go with Wisconsin to cover the spread here.
What do you think of this one, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to look at Rutgers here. If Wisconsin had a little bit more accuracy at quarterback, I may look their way, but they're only completing half their passes this season. And I'll look here at actually on defense, Wisconsin giving up 67% pass completions here. Rutgers is one of those NFL-style offenses that just, it's 3 yards, a cloud of dust, and a 5-yard pass, right, to get the first down. And they just move the sticks. It's ugly, boring football, but it kind of reminds me a little of what we see in the NFL when you watch a Rutgers game. Defense here. They're stopping the run. Wisconsin 0-3 of the spread on the road, facing these defensive-minded teams that give up 17 or fewer points a game. And as we said, Rutgers have been a pretty good home favorite, so I'll look at Rutgers in that spot.
Yeah, for me in this one, you know what? I'm going to go with the other. I'm going to go with Wisconsin here. I like the dog. You look at what Rutgers does, and they like to. This is going to be a muck game. I lean to an under. It's going to be like who can do what against what. Wisconsin, well, they're going to run the ball. Not going to throw it a whole lot against this Rutgers defense. It's going to be smash mouth footballs over and you get head on head. And this is going to come to whoever wins this turnover battle and who causes these turnover battles. And coach is going to be big. Going against Greg Schiano versus winning teams, I don't know. He's 4-14 ATS.
I don't know.
So I'm going to go against Greg Schiano here in this one. I just can't do it. I got to go with Wisconsin and the plus price. I like the money line here in this one on Wisconsin. It's just one of those things with Rutgers. This is going to be a smash mouth battle, as always. You see in the Big Ten. This is going to be a good one.
It is.
If you like some defensive smash mouth football, definitely tune into this one.
Special teams better be right. There's going to be a lot of punts and punt returns, punt turnovers. I think special teams can have an impact too in this game.
It's going to take huge, right? Somebody all of a sudden breaking one out and running it down. All of a sudden, you get a 7-point lead. That's huge in one of these games. This should be a good one. So let's tune into this one. All right, on to the next one. We got another big game here. Teams traveling one way, going out to Tony's neck of the woods on the West Coast. We got Penn State taking on USC here in this one. It's still 5.5, or does it come down to 4.5 in the books?
4.5. There's even a 4 as well.
There's even a 4, right?
Yeah.
It's down pretty big from what it opened at. And what do you think here in this one, Mindy?
I think what a week in the Big Ten. This is amazing. It's one of the weekends maybe I'm excited that the Huskers are on a bye, because look at this football. I mean, this is going to be some amazing games. Maybe two of the best football names for me, Drew Aller, Miller Moss. I love it. I love the way this sounds. And again, I think there's going to be a trend here. We're going to go under this total. Defense for Penn State, 17th in the nation. You look at where we're at for USC, 20th in the nation. I just think this one here is going to be a big old underplay today.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Mindy on that with defense on both these guys and everything. So I'm going to go with the under in this game as well and take that.
What do you think here, Jody?
All right, in this one, I'm going to look here at taking the points with USC. Trojans played well at home. They're coming off a loss, so I think there's a lot of focus here at practice here. And, of course, Penn State coming in. It's a ranked team coming in here. We know Penn State put up great numbers. And, again, it's one of those travel spots where we're seeing an East Coast team moving west. This has been an angle that's not worked well for this in this conference. Keep an eye on it. I have a feeling the same thing's going to happen in college basketball, by the way. I think we're going to remember this college basketball conference. It's going to be – some of these travel spots are going to be very tough for these teams. We've seen it in the Big 12, and we're now going to see it here in the Big 10 with some of these West Coast teams. Yeah, I think USC's running game is good. They're definitely an efficient passing team with Moss. Yeah, they couldn't get it done yet last week against the Minnesota team. So I'll look at USC in this spot.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Penn State is just too much. I think they'll be able to run the ball offensively and be able to control that clock. 5.4 yards a rush. Well, USC defending the rush, not so good. They give up 5 yards a rush per game. So I kind of like the under, where I heard a couple cappers on the under, where I think Penn State controls this clock. Keep it out of USC's hands is what you want to do here. Typical Penn State football, low scoring, lots of running. And you don't want to get into a shootout with USC. Penn State could, though, because they can definitely throw the ball, averaging 2.7 yards per attempt. So this line is just, it is looking kind of fishy to me. I think it should be a little more for Penn State. You think they are the better team here. USC went into where they played Minnesota, and it was at an 8.5 in some books. Now it's only this low with Penn State. I think it's kind of fishy to me, but I'm going to grab the low-hanging fruit with James Franklin as the goal, just because I think he'll just get things going. Him after two conference games versus opponents and winning by 10 plus, I think he continues to roll. Give me Penn State by 10 plus in this one, and they beat up on USC. And then on to the next one, massive game. Texas taking on Oklahoma. It's still 14.5. I see in most books. And what's the total at? 78. Or it should be at 78. I don't think it's that high. Let me just double check.
No, it's low total. It's 49.5.
49, yeah, 49, 49.5 in some places.
Not Oklahoma is different. Yeah, it's we don't have Riley over there anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
No leaky defense. You got defense and no offensive coach over there.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think of this one, Mindy?
Well, I mean, it's fun to have, Ewers back. You got Arnold for Oklahoma. I feel like this is not the old rivalry game that I remember right now. I think this is going to be super one-sided. I like Texas to just go out there and totally annihilate an Oklahoma team that ranks 100th in offensive efficiency when Texas is number 2. I think this is super lopsided here. I mean, I don't know if what's going to happen with this total. It's going to be very interesting to see, but I think Texas, with that efficiency, they win here. It's going to be pretty lopsided.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
Yeah, definitely taking Texas in this to cover the spread. I think they do it comfortably in their last 10 matchups against Oklahoma. They're 6-4 against the spread, 4-1 in their last 5, and I don't think there's any problem at all taking care of Oklahoma. So take Texas.
What do you think here in this one, Tony?
Yeah, rivalry game is hard for me to lay more than 2 touchdowns. Sometimes the numbers say one thing, but when you get a rivalry game, it's a different story. I mean, I would rather take the points here with Oklahoma. But Oklahoma is stopping the run, and this year 2.6 yards a carry. So you may have some down and distance situations here, and I just think Oklahoma's defense can step up in this one. Hawkins is taking care of the football. He was accurate in that road SEC spot, so you got to give him credit there to get that win. So I'll take the points there with Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Red River rivalry. Of course, I'm going to take the points with the dog in the Red River rivalry. We've only seen once in the last 10 games that head-to-head that it was a blowout. It was a Texas blowout a couple of years ago, 49-0. And we'll see that same kind of blowout here. I think Oklahoma, as Tony alluded to, they can stop the run. So they're going to make Texas one-dimensional, having to throw the ball downfield. And I think this Oklahoma defense can definitely step up for that, game plan for it. So I try to give me more than 2 touchdowns. I like Oklahoma here, plus the 14 and a half. Because it's come down a little. Some money's coming in on Oklahoma as well. All right, another big game, big rivalry again. This one in the SEC. We got Florida taking on Tennessee. I think that's the same number. I believe it's, I got it at 15, plus 15 and a half in some books.
Yeah, it's now 14s. There's some 14s now. 14.
There's the rivalry. Everybody's thinking it's come down a little in that one. So what do you think here in this one, Mindy?
Well, I mean, I think this one just gets over the total. I think it could be one of those that it gets out of hand with Tennessee. I have it within 10, but it's not one of those that I really want to go ahead and put my money on either way, the way I see it. But for me, I do think there's going to be a lot of scoring occurring here in this one. I'm going to go ahead and go over that total. I got it like a, 30-40 game, 70 points. Let's go.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to go with the over in this. I think Tennessee's going to be able to run the score up. Florida can add to it if they want to. No problem. But, I think Tennessee definitely runs it up. I was at 55.5, I think is where it was at. And both of them are 3-2 to the over. So I think that's where I'm sitting at, going over this total.
What do you hear in this one, Tony?
Yeah, I think Tennessee at home, with this team and the way they played at home of late, they're 11-3 to the spread at home. I think it's a Tennessee spot here coming off that loss to Arkansas. I think they really come in focused in this spot. You look at Tennessee, this team is smothering opponents' run game, just 1.9 yards a carry. So, again, here's a situation down in distance, high leverage situation for the quarterback. Can you convert the third downs in this spot on the road? It's going to be tough. I like Tennessee in this spot.
Yeah, I agree. Got to go with Tennessee. I'm going to take Mr. Extendo line on this one. 14 and a half against this Gator team. Don't be fooled by what you seen last week against UCF. You remember there was a hurricane rolling through there. There was wind. There was rain. It was a mess. I believe that game was a delayed start, too, because of the weather, too. So don't let that fool you. This Gators team is not very good. And this Tennessee team, after having to battle Arkansas and that loss, they're going to come out mad in this one. I like the minus 19 and a half here. I think they win by 3 touchdowns plus, take it out on the Gators, especially at home here in Neyland Stadium. Love Tennessee. Big in that one. All right, on to the next one. We're taking on another big game. We got Ohio State taking on Oregon. Another one of those big games going. One team going from one side of the country, coming out west here, taking on the Ducks. I believe this line's been still at 3.5 in most books. What do you think here in this one, Mindy?
I think this is another amazing game. It's good for college football. I'm totally pumped about it. I feel like in the Big Ten, being a fan, that I get a bowl game every week. But yeah, the battle of the 5-0s. You got Ohio State, 3rd on offense, 5th on defense. Oregon, 20 on offense, 24th on defense. This is going to be an amazing game. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and go with this away team. I think Ohio State has always traveled well. Oregon haven't really impressed me too much this season so far. I feel like there's a couple letdowns. I think this is a spot. Don't care about the travel here. I got Ohio State winning this one by like 9. Let's take them. I like the Buckeyes here.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
I'm going the other way. You're going to take Oregon to cover the spread. I think it's at 3.5 some places. Mainly, Ohio State is 1-7 in their last 8 games as a favorite against ranked teams, and it could come down to a field goal. I mean, Ohio State may may come out and surprise, but I'm going to hope they keep it close here and just take Oregon to cover.
What do you think here in this one, Tony?
Yeah, I'm as well with Oregon this one. This could be one of those backdoor situations. We can get one of those 35, 32, something in that range where it's within 3. But one thing that really caught my attention, because remember, they played in 2021, right? Oregon on the road, what really got my attention was how much faster the speed, right? Ohio State wasn't ready for that speed they got from Oregon. I think the situation, too, where they may get caught not ready for this type of speed they're going to see from Oregon. Oregon's a very fast team. They do everything fast, right? They're on their field turf here at home, where they really notch it up. I just don't think Ohio State is trained enough to handle the speed here of Oregon. They got caught. Remember, they played in 2021. Oregon went over there, pulled the upset, and what caught my. I remember that game because I said, "Wow, look at how much faster Oregon looked there on the field." And I think this situation too, where you get caught up playing these Big Ten teams that aren't very fast, all of a sudden you got this really fast team you're facing. I think the situation where Ohio State gets caught up in the speed with the speed of the Ducks, and I like, and it's not just on one side of the field; it's on all sides of the field, and it's on special teams where they're very fast. I like Oregon in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take Oregon outright. This is that one where I looked at it's at 3.5, and it's stuck at 3.5, right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to mark it here. This is Ohio State's only loss of the season. And after this one, they bounce back and don't lose, and they hoist the championship. Because I'm still sticking with Ohio State to win the championship. But I think this is their one loss. You got to face the Ducks team that, as Tony's alluded to, they are fast. So what's this Ohio State going to do? They have a defensive line that's absolutely beast. Give it to them. The Ducks, good luck. You're not going to run the ball on this one. You're going to have to put it in the hands of Dylan Gabriel. And what's he done all season long? He hasn't put Hammer down, but he's definitely been Mr. Consistent. Only been the top in the college football rankings of completing 77% of his passes. Mind-blowing what he's done throwing the ball for the Ducks. And it's what he's going to have to do here against this Ohio State team that is going to bring it. They're going to bring that defensive line all as fast. But when you do that to combat the blitz, you get the ball out quick. And that's what Dylan Gabriel's going to do here. And the Ducks are going to run it up and be able to move the ball down the field through the air. And I think you haven't seen the best of the Ducks yet. You're going to see it now in this game here. I think this is the one they've had circled to put Hammer down, and they've been working towards. Watch out for the Ducks. Ducks upset Ohio State in this one. Can't wait. This is so many games this week that are so good. I can't wait. On to another one. This one, Chris will love this one. We're going on to Ole Miss taking on LSU in that one. What's the line we got of this one?
3. I think it's 3 still, right?
Still 3, right? Yeah, still 3 in most books. Yeah, 3 in
3.5 actually. Ole Miss now 3.5 in spots.
Oh, moved up. Yeah, moving up on the way to move up. Yeah, shop your number like Ole Miss. Yeah. Definitely shop your number quick because it's on the move. This total's at 62.5. What do you think in this one, Mindy?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were kind of hesitant, right, Chris? Last week, we were like, well, we want to be on Ole Miss, and look, they covered for us. So we shouldn't be too scared this week here either. But I just look at these numbers with the way that these two teams match up. I think this one, again, it's going to feel like a Big Ten game. I don't think this is going to be a lot of scoring here with a number 6 on defense for Ole Miss and a number 8 on offense for LSU. I mean, I think this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend. I mean, besides Ohio State and Oregon, but I have this one coming in under the total.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
Well, definitely my favorite as Ole Miss fan. They're my team. So I do think they get the win, but that's not where I'm at. I was looking at the total in the last 10 games these guys have played against each other. For whatever reason, no matter who's doing what, they're 6-4 to the over. These teams, when they battle each other, the score just gets crazy. Something about Ole Miss and LSU. So I'm going with the over. I know it's like 62, but for whatever reason, these two teams have their way with each other, and it just keeps climbing. Now, like I said, I do think Ole Miss wins it, but I think they're just it's too much on the money line to get any value there. So I'm going to go with the over.
What do you think here, Tony?
Yeah, this will be the best offense, obviously, the Rebels has faced. This LSU offense is just, 5 yards of carry on the ground, completing 70% of their passes or throwing the ball downfield. We could have an up and down game. I kind of may agree there with the over in that one. it's just, to me, it's a spot. You're LSU at night. You know what that place is like. It's very tough for these opposing teams that go into LSU in that primetime spot. Matter of fact, LSU is now 6-0 to the spread of their consecutive home games. Ole Miss on the road against these good offensive teams that averages 425 yards per game or greater. They're 0-4 to the spread, so they've had struggles going on the road against these high-flying offensive teams. So I'll look at LSU plus the points.
I kind of lean to LSU as well, but I like the over. Just as Chris alluded to, I think this turns into a shootout, just like we've seen recently head-to-head between these two teams. You look, Ole Miss, if they want, they can run the ball getting their 5.3 yards a chunk. And if they want, they can actually throw it through the air as well. So, because, LSU's defense is sieved through the air. They're getting 12.2 yards per completion. Ooh. Ole Miss can have the way through the air, whatever they want. They can just pin that number. And what we've seen in most of these games head-to-head, it's been like the first of 50 wins these games. So it's like, I agree. I think we see a track meet in this one. Air show, lots of touchdowns. Give me the over 62.5 in this one. All right, on to the last game here. We got Vandy. I think they're still celebrating in the river with the goalpost. I think I did see a video of them replacing the goalpost, getting a new goalpost in there in Vandy. This line is
13.5 Kentucky.
13.5 Kentucky.
44.5 total.
44.5 is the total in this one. What do you think here in this one, Mindy?
Man, I mean, Kentucky's been good this year. They've surprised me over and over and over again, basically. And then Vandy, they're going to have to do the same thing they did last week. They're going to have to have ball control. They're going to have to slow this down. Right now, they're completing 49% third down efficiencies, ranked 23rd in the nation. That's what it's got to be. They got to control the clock. I think because of that, we slow this game all the way down. Because of it, I don't really see a lot of scoring occurring. I'm going to go ahead and go under the total. It could be just as well that Kentucky blows them out as Kentucky, doesn't get this cover. I'm not so much concerned with that. I just think it's going to be maybe a little bit of a hangover. We're going to have to control the clock. I'm going to go under this total.
What do you think here in this one, Chris?
I'm looking at, I think Kentucky wins, but I think Vandy potentially not anything to do with the win off Alabama last week, because that's, that was crazy. But I don't know. But looking at just these two teams, nothing about last week's win, nothing about any of that. They're 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games against Kentucky. So with 13.5, and it might go, if it goes any higher, definitely I'm going to go with Vandy to cover the spread in this one. Not saying Kentucky wouldn't win, because they've been pretty awesome at doing some stuff this year, but that's my go. Is just Vanderbilt to cover the spread at least.
And you know what, I kind of all week I think I said was like, gotta take Kentucky because Vandy's still partying it up. But you know what? They're young. They're students. They bounce back. I know when I was young and at that age in the 20s, the next day, just nothing like the hair of the dog and a way back, you go right at it. And so I think at 13.5. I think it's too many. I also look at Coach Stoops off an upset win as a road dog. He's only 1-8 straight up following a road win as a dog as Coach Stoops. Give me Vandy again outright.
There you go.
Back upset wins.
It's funny.
I can't. They're just happy. They're playing football, and Kentucky. Sure, that defense is going to be tough. This is going to be a battle, but. Take the points if you're uncomfortable with laying it with Vandy, but I'm going to sprinkle it on Vandy to get the back-to-back upset wins.
And I'll be there too with you guys on the Vandy spot. It's funny, we keep thinking about the upset by Vandy over Alabama. Remember, because you said Kentucky upset Ole Miss, right? So there's two teams coming in on upsets, but it's telling here where you see a total here 44. And about a 2 touchdown point spread is because Kentucky's offense is sometimes hard to watch, right? It's brutal, right? I mean, they could win this game 14-6. I mean, these just think of an ugly score, and it could happen. It could land here. Kentucky just 3.7 yards to carry. This used to be a team that would live on the ground, right? With Stoops, the Stoops team's going to run for at least 5. They put a guy into the NFL running back that was really good, right? Now, at 3.7 yards to carry, their quarterback, as usual, can't complete, and that doesn't have accuracy because they would run the ball all the time. But now they can't run. They don't have an accurate quarterback. The defense is good. And the wild card is this Pavia kid, man. We saw him at New Mexico. Listen, he did the miracle. He took New Mexico State, gave him a winning record, and he got into a bowl game, which I never thought I'd ever see in my lifetime. You know what I mean?
Right?
That is something that shocked the world. You know, he shocked the world. I think that was a bigger shock, not beating Alabama, but raising that New Mexico State team. And that, to me, that was a bigger miracle than beating Alabama, to be honest with you. I haven't seen so many bad New Mexico State teams, but yeah, that Pavia there is the wild card in this one, right? That can probably avoid that letdown because he gets into the game and he'll run the football and toughen them to a cover here. And I'm not saying they're going to win, but again, I'll take the points.
Take the points. Why not? Right? Take the points. I think it's almost a lock. This comes down to a single digit game because the team is playing behind them. So as much as we rode them much out, they're going to be hungry. They're not like us, and they're not my age. Trying to recover from a hangover takes a week. So all right, out of the section where all the cappers get to pick a game that they like, or maybe even a prop, maybe even a parlay, whatever you like, and then also tell us what you got going on over at Tony'sPicks.com this week in college football. Over to you, Mindy.
All right, so we're going to go to an ugly game here Saturday morning so you can get your scorecards out. It's going to be UAB versus Army. Army here is 5-0, and 5-0 for a reason. Right now, number 2 in offensive efficiency, going up against a huge mismatch here with UAB. Sitting at number 106. It is going to be gnarly, you guys. Ugly, ugly, ugly. They're going to cover the spread at halftime. I'll be all over Army here, getting it done. What do you call them? I can't think of it right now, but
Black Knights.
No, but all of the military academies are doing really well this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like Army big time here in this one. Huge points, ugly game, but that's okay. I like money better than fun wins. How about that? So I'm looking to be pretty heavy here this weekend. I like it when we get to this time of the year. We're in conference play. We've seen some. My numbers always tend to even out. We can find the mismatches. That's all we're looking for here. So you can always catch me putting out quite a few plays, right? If they are there and ready to play, they are on my card. So make sure you check that out. I usually put them by time so you can get some in the early. And then, of course, after you're getting your winnings done, you can get some more in those late night games. So make sure you check me out at Tony'sPicks.com.
Chris, what do you think? What do you got here for us in this section of the show?
I'm going to look at Arizona BYU. I mean, BYU is 5-0 right now. They're super hot. And also they're 4-1 against the spread. So I'm going to take BYU to cover the spread against Arizona and hopefully keep it going and maybe be 6-0. That'd be great. That's the game I've got for you. I was looking at it, and what I'm going to have on there, I'm going to have a best bet, and then I'll have a 3-pack on the site this weekend with a few of my favorites. My favorite conference is SEC. It's where I live, and it's just all around me. So I love that conference. So we'll probably put a 3-pack together for everybody, and just cash in on all this stuff. There's a lot of good games this weekend.
What do you got for us, Tony?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking here at a game between Oregon State and Nevada. I'm going to be taking Nevada here plus the points here. Oregon State has not been good on the spread against these really good rushing teams, and it's one thing Nevada has been doing. They have a really good mobile quarterback in Brendan Lewis. They're averaging 5 yards a carry on the ground, completing nearly 70% of their passes, and they're defending quite a bit. And I think Lewis's mobility is a key here, as the Beavers have been very poor at stopping the run. I like Nevada here at plus the points.
And then for me, in this section here, you know what I'm going to take? It's one of those teams going from east to west. Minnesota coming into UCLA in this one this weekend. And this, I'm going to go with the first half here. I think the Gophers being a little bit overvalued here in the first half. I could find a 3, and I like it. I'm going to take UCLA on the money line. I think they lead at halftime. Do they win this one? I don't know. I think they battle, though. You look at Minnesota offensively, UCLA can definitely slow it up on the run. Minnesota doesn't move the ball a whole lot on the ground. Definitely be throwing it through the air. And I think this UCLA team, just having to focus on one thing defensively, I think they'll be able to slow up the Gophers in the first half after that big upset win, whooping it up on USC last week. I like UCLA in the first half. I'm going to take a money line to outright the Gophers on this one. And then, you know me, over Tony's Picks, I'll have lots of college football action for you. Usually I split it up, got a 5-pack usually in the morning, 3-pack in the morning, 3-pack in the middle slate, and then usually at least another 3-pack in the night slate. So jump aboard, grab something long-term, that way you don't miss out on everything going on over Tony's Picks this weekend. Loaded slate with hockey being back. We got WNBA playoffs. Loaded sports card this weekend. So definitely jump aboard something over there. Let's continue to crush the books. Any last words from anybody before we wrap up this week's college action?
No, it looks like a great slate. I can't wait. It's exciting.
Exciting, guys. Check us out. We're on the morning show, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You see many of our faces here on the morning show every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you like, subscribe. Check us out.
Definitely. Appreciate everybody that tunes into these shows. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Tune in. These are awesome. We love to get some money and go Vandy this week. Big ups.
All right, guys.